What's up, y'all? We live. We are live in the building. Crystal is getting the IG set up. She's slacking.
Oh, who's that hunk?
Um,
Robert's on the screen on my phone.
so we're going to talk about a little red light therapy.
Hold on.
But we're letting Crystal get everything set up on the phone first. What's the matter, Reggie? What's up, y'all? We live. So this lighting's pretty good, right?
Yeah, much better. I mean, before it was just like we were blinding.
All right, what's different?
Maybe we're not so
tan.
white.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're tanner now.
What's the matter, babe?
All right, so we're gonna talk about red light therapy. What's up, Keto Greg? How you doing? So honestly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with red light therapy. Crystal has a red light, and she's been using that on a regular basis. So I'm gonna let her steer the ship. I just did record a podcast with Vanessa Spina about red light therapy, and we dove quite deeply into that. That
You
podcast,
know a lot of it, about it.
that podcast has not yet gone live though. So the main
information.
I don't want to divulge too much information there, but a lot of it is regarding mitochondrial health and increasing brown fat production or beige fat production. But I'm gonna let Crystal kind of steer the ship on this conversation because she has a red light and has used it on a regular basis.
You want to take the munch?
Sure, I'll take the munch.
All right. So to be real honest, and I've posted about this, is I have only used the red light a little bit. And I don't like to talk about things and brands and companies until I actually know if I like it or I think it's like beneficial or whatever. This company sent me a red light. I really like so it used to be Blue Blocks. And now they changed it to Bond Charge. And I really like all the things.
They still sell the glasses too.
Mm-hmm. They sell glasses. They sell like red light stuff. They sell EMF blocking items, which I think is super cool. Like I'm totally 100% back their company, but I don't know about the red light yet. I am using it, and I'm trying to use it more so like on my face, because it's supposed to help with like collagen production and things like that. So to help like with like fine lines and wrinkles. And I know everyone's like, Crystal, you're 30.
But she got some wrinkles. Don't let her fool you.
But I do have really deep forehead wrinkles, like forehead.
She got a forehead that won't quit.
You're so rude. And they've always bothered me, honestly. And there's really no way to get rid of them because they're so deep, and it's just like I have extra skin on my forehead. Like there's just nothing you can do about it. But I wanted to see if this red light would do anything, or make my skin any more clear. So so the one thing that it does is collagen production. It increases the collagen production. It also can help with muscle recovery. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. What are you so cute for?
It supposedly also increases testosterone if you put it on your junk. There's been some studies that suggest an increase in testosterone.
See, this is the thing. These are the things that I'm not really sure of. Like how I don't really know if that's true or not. But it should help with like muscle recovery, any injuries, things like that. I do have a bum knee, and it only acts up every once in a while. So I don't know. I've thought about putting it on that. However, someone that I do know suffers with psoriasis, and I'm gonna give him the red light after I give it a go for a little bit. And I want to see if it helps his psoriasis, and we might take like before and after pictures just to see if it helps. He's pretty much tried everything from like different medications to straight up carnivore to, just a million different things. So I would be really curious to see if the red light helps. But there are a lot of different benefits. I just put it on my neck and around my head the other night to help with headaches. And honestly, that night, it slightly gave me relief. And I don't know if it was from the warmth or actually the red light, but I usually have them like consecutively, like days in a row, until I get like a massage and until it can be like broken up. And I have not had one since the night that I put one put it on. I still had a headache that night. I went to bed with a headache, but I woke up the next morning feeling a lot better. And usually I have headaches for several days. So I don't know if it was the red light. That's the thing to me, is like, it's a lot like jumping in the cold water, like doing the cold plunge. That's a lot to me, is like, it probably is helpful over time. I also don't know if there's like a certain degree of how strong the red light has to be, or how many whatevers it has to be, like, in order to actually work. I don't actually know that. I know that some of the red lights are actually like tested and things like that, but I don't know the testing that it has to go through. But I'm giving this a shot. I feel like so many people have talked about it. Even at KetoCon, they had like a little face wand thing. And I'm more like curious about it than anything. I don't have a lot of like information about it. But I feel like we should just like open up the conversation, like to just talk about it a little bit.
And infrared saunas are becoming really popular right now. Basically, so there are benefits to sauna and heat exposure and the hormetic response that you get from extreme heats with traditional saunas, but oftentimes infrared saunas don't get as hot as traditional saunas, suggesting that you're getting a lot of the benefits from the infrared technology at a lower temperature because it has a better penetration. However, most of the benefits on sauna research has been done with traditional saunas. So there's kind of a little bit to be left to question there. And with infrared technology, there's been like certain recommendations around dosage. So how close you are to that infrared lamp is going to dictate how long you need to be dosed at that level of infrared exposure. But you can also get infrared naturally through sun exposure, particularly in the mornings and evenings, so dawn and dusk, which is also going to have a benefit from a circadian rhythm standpoint. So light technology is pretty cool. There's a ton of benefit to allowing your circadian rhythm to reset when the sun rises and when the sun falls. This is why you don't want to be exposing yourself to a lot of blue light after the sun has set. That's going to wreak havoc from a circadian rhythm standpoint. It's going to make it harder to fall asleep, and it's just going to be more stimulating. So using blue blocking glasses to prevent that blue light exposure in the evening is beneficial, but even your skin has a lot of receptor sites. I mean, it's covered in receptor sites that can also pick up on that wavelength of light that you are exposed to. So it's beneficial to have not necessarily infrared lights, but red lights in your home after the sun goes down, and use that as your primary light source if you are going to have lights on after the sun goes down, which, right now the sun's setting much later in the day, which is nice, but during the wintertime when it's setting super early, most people aren't going to bed that early. So it would be beneficial to, you're a distraction.
This is so cute.
It'd be beneficial to not expose yourself to a ton of blue lights later in the day. So you can swap that out for, a shaded light that's not going to be as stimulating. All right. We are kind of open for whatever other questions and comments you'll have. Colleen says, Crystal, you're beautiful. Don't worry about the wrinkles.
Oh, well, thanks. I am definitely one of those people that will never get Botox or whatever the other one is. I don't remember what the other one's called.
Liposuction.
No. It's like another kind of Botox. I will not ever get that. It's super popular. It's super common. Like, I don't think I found out how popular it was until I was like, I don't know, 25, and then I realized everyone did it before they even got wrinkles.
You don't know what it's called?
I don't remember.
What's it called, John?
Botox, and then there's another one. Yeah, I don't believe in it. Like, it just seems so toxic to the body that it's just not worth it to me.
Taylor Milton says, hey guys, what's up, Taylor Milton? How you doing?
However, I will say that like the Frownies, that's a company that they have stuff. I have tried those. I didn't try it consistently enough like to actually make a difference, but I think natural things like that are pretty cool.
Hello from Spain. It's supposed to help with hair growth too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness.
You messy boy.
You just got it all over me. Yes, hair regrowth as well. I have a ton of baby hairs from Rigel. And I have not actually tried it at all on my head. My hair is growing back very well, really naturally. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, it should actually help with hair regrowth if you put it on that spot or on those spots.
How can it's possible to eat 250 grams and 130 grams of protein and get lean? I'm assuming it's 250 grams of fat and 130 grams of protein and get lean. So it really just depends on the individual. Like they're going to have, different levels of lean tissue is going to require different amounts of protein intake, different caloric allotments, or different caloric thresholds rather. So it's very different. Like I know people that would never get lean at that intake. I know people that would lean out really quickly at that intake. So it's going to really depend on the individual there. I'm using it to hopefully heal my meniscus tear, and it's helping.
Good.
Hoping to prove that Doc's wrong and that it can't be healed without surgery. Yeah,
that would be really awesome. You should keep us updated on that because I'm sure it brings blood flow and stuff to the meniscus, which doesn't have very much blood flow, which is usually why they suggest surgery.
Yeah. Will it help with hair loss? I'm shedding so much hair since starting keto. I'm really worried. Make sure you're consuming enough protein.
Well, also
enough calories.
Anytime you change your diet drastically, if you're under eating, if you're going through anything really hormonally, like having a baby, that's very hormonal. Anything like that big in your life that's going to happen can result in hair loss, especially in women. So don't freak out about that part. It will grow back. I've lost hair twice now. The first time was when I did my competition prep, and the second time was when I had Rigel, and it grows back. It really does.
Danny had a red light a while back that was made for man jump, I believe.
Is that where you've heard that from?
No, I didn't know he had a red light. I knew he did the Gainswave thing, but the Gainswave is a different technology. I think there's a light component with that too, but it's more so like a vibrating technology.
Vibrating.
Supposed to like break not plaque, but like the equivalent of that loose in your
buildup.
So basically improve blood flow in that region. But I don't know the ins and outs of that one. That's a Danny question for sure. We'll have to ask Danny how his junk's doing. Well, it helps with hair growth. Maybe shouldn't put on junk. Yeah, you don't want hairy ball. That's just true. What's going on? All right, let's dive into some of these YouTube thumbs up. All right, let's dive into these YouTube ones. So, with your morning tea and heavy cream, what type of tea do you use? Also, why not use MCT oil instead of heavy cream? All right, so I've been using.
That second part of the question was on it.
Yeah, why not use MCT oil instead of heavy cream?
Heavy cream's delicious.
Yeah, heavy cream is way tastier than MCT oil, and too much MCT oil messes with my gut. That's why I don't use. I mean, I'm not opposed to MCT oil, and I have incorporated that for sure at times, but I prefer the flavor of heavy cream. And then as far as the type of tea, I've been doing. What's the brand of that tea? You know? Yogi. I think.
Yogi. Yeah.
It's Yogi brand tea, and it's like their Energize line, so it's got a little bit of caffeine in it, and it's the sweet tangerine flavor. So I'll do 2 of those in a cup of tea. It says that there's 70 milligrams of caffeine per tea bag. I'm a little skeptical about that, but I'll have 2 of those in a cup of tea. With this week, I'm at 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, and that is very tasty. All right, what other questions we got, y'all? Kind of flew through these questions pretty quick. So open discussion right now. Hit us up with some questions. There's some of you on Facebook and YouTube right now. Some of you on IG. Hit us up with some questions, comments. Had a really good podcast today on homesteading.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? Do y'all like the homesteading content? Obviously most of my podcast guests are talking about nutrition, fitness, athletics, bodybuilding, et cetera, et cetera. But I have had a few homesteading podcasts as of late. Is that something that y'all like, or are y'all like, stick to bodybuilding and keto? We don't want to hear about homesteading. What's up, Munchkin?
All right. Since we are on this topic, I heard for the first time today, keto boner, blood flow ? Increased testosterone ? Who knew? Yeah. Well, I've never heard keto boner, but.
You know what the difference in me when I went keto? No.
We were also like young.
I've just always been solid.
Yeah. But I mean, for real though, like we were young, so it was hard to tell because like testosterone's like super high anyways when you're 22 or 21 or 23 or
And
however.
now that we're getting old,
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is like it's hard to tell. Like it would be easier to take a man who might already be having issues and
yeah, I've never. I mean, I'll have issues in that department when I'm at the very tail end of a prep, traditionally speaking, and all my testosterone's tanked. But that has been mitigated significantly since being keto. So,
But yes, keto can help with hormones, and it can help to so like fat. You explain this a lot better, smarter.
So cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone. So if you're doing a ketogenic diet, you're able to metabolize fat better. You've got more dietary fat coming in as a baseline. You've got healthy levels of cholesterol. You're gonna be much better off hormonally speaking than if you're deficient in enough dietary fats. I mean, every cell in your entire body has a lipid bilayer on it, so everything is encapsulated in a layer of fat. And so fat's super important, y'all. And if you're not doing enough dietary fat, as many competitors aren't doing, then their testosterone tanks significantly. If they're taking in exogenous hormones and they're not being healthy about cycling off of those and mitigating the risk with that, then their own natural endogenous production of hormones is going to drastically drop. There are many pro bodybuilders that now have the testosterone levels of 7-year-old girls if they didn't cycle off correctly. So you got to be careful when you're playing around and being a chemist in the kitchen with regards to hormone levels.
But as far as the testosterone goes, that is exactly why it can be helpful. But also, if you think about it, a lot of people who are eating a standard American diet are eating fast food, they're eating out a lot, they're eating packaged junk food. And when you switch to keto, you cut a lot of that out, and you're cutting out a lot of the things that can disrupt your hormones and disrupt your health. And so when you're getting rid of those things, it's almost like your body's clear to work again.
Yeah.
But it's very common. I've heard that a lot, that that men find a higher sex drive and things like that.
Homesteading is cool. It is cool. How are bowel movements doing with your diet? Totally fine. Like, it's weird because
yours, like with your dieting down.
Yeah, are you talking about my dieting down or just in general with ketogenic diet? With ketogenic diet, carnivore, no issues whatsoever. So many people assume that you have to have fiber to have consistent bowel movements. That's just not the case.
I got my life back when I cut fiber out of my life.
Yeah, I'm like a one and done kind of guy when it comes to going to the bathroom once in the morning, and that's all she wrote, like clockwork.
Suggestions for extremely low testosterone for menopausal women, 53, keto 5 years, how to increase naturally.
Are you eating enough total calories? Because if you are not, you are going to have a much harder time reaching natural, healthy levels of hormones. Chronically undereating is probably the worst thing you can do. Chronically undereating and way too much stress are probably the two worst things anybody can do in regard to keeping a healthy hormonal baseline. And
resistance training can actually help a lot too. So I would definitely try to do some resistance training, eating plenty of food. I think there are some supplements that you can take that are natural supplements. I just don't know exactly what those are. Do you know what any of them are?
I'm taking one right now. I just started. It's called Tung Cat Ali. It's just like some root, some herb root. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. We'll find out when I get my next blood work done.
Yeah.
Enough boron is really important too. Make sure you're taking enough boron.
Yeah, I guess you probably tested your testosterone, right? That would be my assumption, that you've already tested it, and then maybe trying to find natural.
Making sure you don't have too many xenoestrogens and artificial estrogens in your environment is going to be key, because if you do, then you're going to have higher sex hormone binding globulin, which is going to decrease your amount of free testosterone. So whole testosterone in and of itself isn't really informative. You need to look at free testosterone. When starting a calorie deficit, what's a good initial start to drop, i.e. 25, 50 a week? Yeah, honestly, when I'm dropping calories, I go very slow and gradual. So I'm dropping by about 25, 50 calories a week, and my body's already sort of responding quite well to that. So no need to hack off 500 calories at a time, because when you do that, you're leaving a lot of runway on the table, so to speak. Like, if your body is going to respond favorably to dropping 50 calories a week, then why would you automatically drop 500 and just leave all of that nutrition on the table? So minimum effective dose, for sure. All right, your turn.
Wow.
All right, what else we got? Any other questions, y'all? Low battery. Any other questions? Any other questions? We've got it's Wednesday. And, okay, here we go. 61-year-old female would creatine help me build a little muscle, or will it just fill what muscle I have with water and lose it if I quit taking it? Great question. All right, creatine. Let's talk about creatine for a second. So creatine is naturally occurring in meat, red meat specifically. You're consuming it if you're eating red meat, but you can't really get the benefits of creatine from what you're getting in your diet alone, even if you're eating a lot of steak. To reach supra-physiological levels of creatine, you need to supplement with it. Generally speaking, 3 to 5 grams a day consistently is fine. You don't need to do a loading phase. You can, but you don't need to. So I would honestly recommend taking 3 to 5 grams a day, just 5 grams a day to make it easy. Every single day without fail. You don't need to cycle off of it. And what's going to happen when you consume creatine is that your muscles are going to become saturated with it, which is going to hydrate your muscles, which is going to be good from a recovery standpoint and also a strength building standpoint. So it's good in that sense. It's going to help convert ADP to ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the basically energy there. And you're going to be able to hopefully eke out another rep or two in your training. That's going to bode well for building more muscle and preserving the lean tissue you have. There have also been several studies as of late that points to the benefits of creatine from a psychological standpoint and a neurological standpoint. So I would definitely encourage you to take creatine. Honestly, I don't really notice a whole bunch of fluid retention with creatine. A lot of people are worried about holding a bunch of extra water weight. As long as you're hydrated and your electrolytes are in check, you shouldn't have any issues there. So by all means, take creatine. Stay consistent with creatine. You don't want to, forget to take it for several days on end, because then your body loses that saturation point and you're not doing the benefits of it. So be consistent with it on a daily basis.
Just blowing everyone kisses.
Edward says, I appreciate our interaction. It has really brightened my day. Are you considering having another baby soon? I recently had my first baby boy and I'm open to the idea of having another one. Well, congrats. But I'm also content with raising just one. Yes, we do plan on having another at some point because he's too fun to only just have one. I do love little Rocky for sure.
Yeah, it is hard. It's like once you have them, it's like, oh my gosh, how did you get so stinking cute? Let's make another one.
Yeah.
Let's make 20 of them.
Your boy's looking great, getting big. He is getting the chunks for sure.
Next week he'll be a year.
Yeah, next week he'll be a year old. It's funny. Keto Greg 80 joined and Greg Roman UA joined. We got 2 Gregs at the same time joining. Greg's in the building. All right, y'all. Do we have a topic for next week? We didn't have like multiple topics. No. So we need a topic for next week. We could use y'all to give us a topic for next week. What's up, Greg? Hello, just landed in Dallas on a flight from Baltimore. Under Armour meetings. Hope to catch up soon. Now to jump on a flight to Colorado Springs. Well, safe flight, safe travels, brother. You're always going a million miles an hour. Definitely let me know if anything. We'll talk soon for sure, Greg. All right, so we do need a topic for next week. What we got? We need your keto bricks here in New Zealand. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If you know of any supplement shops, health food stores that would be interested in carrying the bricks in New Zealand, let me know. I'll reach out to them. Greg will reach out to them, and we'll see if we can get that happening. Yeah, how about keto options for kids? That's a good topic.
Oh, that's a good option.
Yeah.
Good option. Good option. That's a good topic.
On what NR would you place a red light therapy device in terms of importance of biohacking devices and other biohacks?
It depends. It depends on what you're going through. Like if you're looking for long-term energy, I probably wouldn't put it at the top. If you're looking for recovery, I probably would put it somewhere at the top. But like, I don't think either one of us have enough experience with red light for a long enough period of time to really say that we've felt optimal changes in our life. Is that right? Is that correct to say?
If you want to look like a biohacking geek that's doing all the cool fad rad things, then definitely put it towards the top.
But I mean, realistically, like, you don't need a lot of devices. Like, I would just, like, if you're trying to go for cheap or just things that are realistic, is just getting your feet literally on the ground, like in dirt, in grass, getting yourself in the sunlight, trying to, rise when the sun rises, go to bed when the sun goes down.
Work out.
Yeah, work out,
Eat good
clean,
food,
like
get some good sleep,
all of those
smile,
things.
laugh, enjoy time with your family and friends, have sex, all these things.
Yeah, those things are going to be so much better and so much more easily grasped than buying a bunch of devices and things. I'm all about buying the devices and doing the things if you have the means to do it, but you can get a gym membership sometimes for $10 a month, and they have a sauna, and the sauna is going to be a really great option rather than spending $200 or $300 on a red light or on things like that. So I mean, definitely if you have the means to do it, then absolutely. But if you don't, there are so many other things to be focusing on.
Yes. All right. So this is the topic for next week. How about keto options for kids? So remember that. Thank you both. Thank you for tuning in. Need Bell's Brownie Batter back. Bell's Brownie Batter back. That's like 4 B's. I am curious about your decision to avoid coffee. I've heard about both the benefits and drawbacks of drinking it. I'm probably going to drink it again. I actually had a coffee for the first time in 3 months today. It was like a canned ice cold nitro brew coffee that was in a can. And I had it today, and it was tasty. I haven't had coffee in 3 months prior to that coffee today. I stopped drinking coffee to see if it had any effect on, my gut at all. Plus, I didn't want to feel dependent upon any substance, and I'm probably going to bring them back because I like the taste of coffee. There's pros and cons to coffee. You certainly don't want any substance. That a topic. Yeah, let's make that a topic.
Okay, so we'll talk about the kids next week, and then we'll talk about coffee the following week. I think we had some over here too. I would write these down, but it's
nature knows best. Plans for the summer. That's a topic from Matt's.
What does it say?
Plans for the summer. Thank you, Matt's, or thank you, because I feel people are saying that biohacking stuff is be all end all. I see it as the icing on the keto cake.
Yes,
definitely
totally.
The icing on the keto cake.
Yeah.
The first year of being parents. That's a pretty good topic too.
Oh yeah.
Look at you go, Matt. You got all kinds of good topics coming. All right. That said, we're gonna call it here. We're wrapping it up. Much love to you all. Have a wonderful day. We will talk soon. Adios. Hasta la vista, babies.
Adios.